Hello everybody, so today we are going to work on the November budget report. Today is payday, my second payday in November, so I'm going to kind of wrap up my November budget and move on to December. This is my first time doing one of these reports, so I'm not quite sure exactly how I want to format or flow or proceed. I'm just going to dig in kind of with what my normal, if the camera wasn't on, here's what I would do, and then I will try to clean things up in editing. So at this point, I'm pulling up my bank here, and I've got a couple of these projected forecast items that I need to clear out. So I'm looking at my bank. Yesterday, a lot of these things fell off. So I've got a McDonald's charge of $4.35, which is right here. And have I added it to the dine out yet? I didn't really budget for that, so this is going to be an overage. So $4.35 towards McDonald's. And that's not here because I didn't project for it. My Verizon bill for next month has already come out, so I will deal with that in a moment. Oh, my credit card here, so $150. So both of these have gone through. Dinner, I think I added down here already. Yes. Okay. Hulu, which is one of my subscriptions, my last one here. And then I did get my rebate as well, which is already listed over here as an income. So I think that's pretty much it. I got that done. My brother did not send me this, but we will figure that out. That came through, that went through, and that went through. All right, so let's see how the month shakes out here. Again, this is my first time kind of ending a month with this. I started this budget template in November, so we're gonna see how this goes. We'll just go through each category. So for savings, I have $400 in my savings account towards my $1,000 emergency fund. That I believe I did at the very beginning of November. If not, it was the end of October, but that's there. I have $14 in my cash box that I can add to that, and then I rolled coins at the beginning of the month as well, so that will go to the bank and be deposited into my emergency fund. Looking at debt, I budgeted $900 in payments, and I made those payments. For fixed bills, I paid my rent, paid my car payment, paid my insurance, paid my phone, and then actually I switched insurance this month. So my payment was $263.69 with Geico, but I switched to Progressive because it's like $150 something, so it's like $100 a month cheaper. And so I started Progressive and had to pay $61.28 to get that started. So that's where I got an overage here in my fixed bills. I did get a rebate of $98.31 from Geico just yesterday, so it kind of took care of that, but I put it here under the income rather than on the fixed bills line. It doesn't really matter. All right, for subscriptions, I have my meal kits. I budget $300, but I only used $272, so I had about $27 that I saved there, which is great. Everything else came out as expected. For gas, I went over by about $10. I made one extra trip that I didn't expect to make, and it was $26, but I had saved enough that I only ended up going over by 10. So that's okay. I did a bit more driving this month than I normally would. Health and beauty, I budgeted $70 to pay a chiropractor bill, but it was only $50, so that gave me an extra $20, which I immediately went to Walmart and bought some toiletries that I had needed to restock on. So actually I came in under budget, or pretty much right on budget for that. Entertainment, I went over, it looks like, so these are just kind of things like going to see theater productions. That's pretty much what a bulk of it is. Oh, my haircut could probably have gone under health and beauty. I've got a $14 haircut here that really should go to health and beauty, but I put it under entertainment for some reason. I will leave it there. It's fine. Yeah, mostly just kind of that kind of stuff. So I went over by about $27, $26. It looks like a big bulk of that was I bought snacks for my little road trip this weekend, so oh well. Then dining out. I spend a bulk of my money on dining out, and in previous months I would spend $1,000 a month just eating out. And so I'm really proud that I've kind of brought that down. It looks like this month it was $650. So it could be better. I only budgeted about $600. So I saved money where I could in a few instances. There was a couple of times where I picked up the bill, and so I went negative. I kind of blew the budget there. So if we look at this, oh, and I scrolled right past gifts and giving. So it looks like I budgeted $120. I went over a little bit there. My brother needed to borrow some money, and I bought some tickets for friends. So I went over there. So I kind of blew a lot of categories in my budget, and I came in under in a few categories, but not quite enough to make up for that. So I did pull from savings to kind of cover that. I also had the Geico rebate that came through that was helpful, and then my dad had sent me $100 as a gift. So that all being said, at the end of the month, I had $88.05 still in my account when my new paycheck hit. So I'm going to withdraw this $88 and put that in towards savings. And I also have some cash that was left in my wallet. So 20, 40, 5, 10, 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got $62 in cash. So 88 plus 62, we got $150 that I'm going to be putting toward savings. That I'll put it in my cash box to kind of be in limbo there, and then ultimately we'll move it to my emergency fund. Hulu came out. I still have this $249 McDonald's charge that I've been expecting to see, but it hasn't. So I wonder if it, I don't know. I'm gonna delete that. Okay. So this was kind of a weird month because there was just a lot of moving pieces and it was a little chaotic. I switched my insurance in the middle of the month. I created a brand new budget template going into the month. I did go over in software categories. I pulled from savings. It was just kind of like a storm of activity. The holidays are right around the corner, that sort of thing. I feel good about that, and I'm just going to be a little bit more careful with December, which I will document. So yeah, when you look at this budget, the math isn't really mathing. I'm working out the kinks. What matters is that it's a tool that I use to manage my money. I tell my money where to go, and I know what I'm spending it on, whereas before I would just swipe until I was out, and then the bills would be due, and I would have no money to pay the bills. So this system, while not perfect, is coming along. I'm gonna celebrate the fact that I ended up $150 over. I don't know how I went negative in almost every category. I ended up with $150, but we will start fresh in December.